And we're live again for our short, sharp, and amazing interviews about sacred geometry with the wonderful Davina. Ann, how are you?
I'm doing great, Davina Kid. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh my goodness. Well, I am excited. I know we've only got a short period of time.
Mhm.
Can you tell us about Sacred Geometry 1? If you have any insights of how it's worked in your life, or really just explaining what it is, we would love to hear from you.
Thank you so much. Well, it is an action-packed 3.5 to 4 hour class. There is so much information in that. And for me, it it increases the vibration of the room that you are working in, is the way I would describe it. The tools that you get in that class are incredible. First of all, the class is beautiful itself. There's quite a lot of information at the beginning, a lot of meditation, and then you get a chance to use the tools, which give you the opportunity to change energy. We hear a lot about energy in our world these days. People talk about, feeling the energy different in a different space, or maybe just not feeling as if they have enough energy or not a lot of energy. But this class gives you tools to raise the vibration of a room so that when people come into it, they feel more comfortable and relaxed. Now, we know that we need to be in a relaxed state in order to heal, in order to receive information, in order to be able to use our brain clearly and in a more focused manner. So you can imagine the application of sacred geometry in so many ways. I mean, I use it every time I'm doing healing work. I use it every time I'm teaching. And so this class is incredible for anyone who is a therapist, anyone who works in any form of healing industry, or indeed teaching or lecturing industry, because you're going to find, and of course you can use it at home as well, because when people feel more relaxed at home, relationships go better, you're much more in tune with each other, you're able to be more accepting of each other, more loving of each other. And I have I teach this class as well, and I know a number of our initiates teach Sacred Geometry 1, and I've had so many good reports from it. One report in particular was from a lady who had an autistic little boy. And she told me that the evening that she used her sacred geometry in the house after having learned the tools, she wrote me the next morning. She says, "Oh my God, Anne," she said, "for the first time in his life and on the hottest day of the year, he slept from 8 o'clock all the way through the night." So that just said volumes to me. It really did. From a personal point of view, I travel a lot. And I would always say that I would never sleep in a bed with dirty sheets. So I would never sleep in a room that has like low energy, low vibration energy. So when you do the sacred geometry in your hotel room, when you do it in any room that you want, you automatically feel lighter, feel more vibrant, feel as if the room itself is supporting your energy field. So I would say it is one of those classes that is a must, and it's short, it's simple, and it's just so useful in everyday life.
My goodness. Well, if everybody isn't forming an orderly queue to get to the class, then
Exactly.
because it is phenomenal, and it's hard to wrap our minds around that just a 3-4 hour, whatever, however long it is, class can actually have such an impact. But it's actually true.
There is so much information in it to give us an idea of how we can influence
Yeah.
the environment around us. But because we are given sacred tools during this class and they are mystery school tools, they come from the lineage of King Solomon. And so they have that weight. You are given these keys to open up that vibration to a much higher vibration, to a higher spiritual vibration, to connection with the angelic, but in particular with God directly. It's using the keys to the universe, the keys to creation, to raise that vibration, because we know that all man-made structures have a vibration.
Yeah.
And we as human beings are influencing that all the time with our moods, with our attitudes, with our whatever, and with our joy. And so that gets stored in the fabric of whatever we are touching, with whatever we're around. And so when we have a certain vibration, we want to heighten that again so that everyone feels that support energetically and feels that sense of, oh my God, I can relax here in this space. And that is what sacred geometry does.
And I absolutely love it, because I actually use it in various different ways. I don't know about you. I suspect so. Is that I infuse this, the technique, the principles, the universal law of creating sacred geometry, which you learn in this class, and I just infuse it in all man-made structures. So if I'm traveling, I'll put it on my suitcase. If I'm writing a letter, if I'm creating marketing, etc., 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 there's no end to its uses.
That is so true, Davina Kate. I know I love to send it in a little email, particularly, if the email is open to interpretation by the person on the other end, because sometimes no matter, how we gently put an email, sometimes if it's hitting a certain chord, we want that to land in a way that is open and, nurturing. And certainly sacred geometry really helps with that big, big, big time.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. And as you said, with the example of your client, that I've really found, in my years of teaching kids yoga, the change in children, and because I taught all-inclusive yoga, children with different levels of abilities, it was phenomenal that, teaching with and without is absolutely noticeable, 100%.
I can just imagine all the primary schools with sacred geometry, and then wouldn't that be so beautiful in all schools? That would be. I often think about what Christmas would be like, Davina, Kate, with every home having sacred geometry in it.
And what the really cool thing is that you don't need, you can just come to the class. Sacred Geometry 1 is open to all. So even, it doesn't matter, I don't know what your, what your belief system is, whatever, just come to the class, receive the tools. The tools are there, they're universal, and to help and support you in your everyday life. That's the beautiful thing about the Hermetic tradition. It's it's not a wagging finger, or we're telling you to do this. These are tools. Take them, use them, don't use them, but they will improve your life. I love that.
Yeah, me too. I just I love the fact that someone can come to the class never having had any previous Hermetic knowledge, never knowing anything about the Mystery School, just step in and dip their toe into the most beautiful teachings. It is something very special.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, I could chat to you forever about this. You know how passionate we are about sacred geometry.
Yes. And of course, it can lead on to other sacred geometry classes too, but this is the core, and it's so practical. Yeah, it's a win-win situation for sure.
Oh, amazing. And maybe you'll come back on next week and talk about astral travel, because we actually use the sacred geometry to astral travel successfully.
I would love that, Davina Kate. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you so much for joining us, Davina Ann, and sharing your insights. And we will see you next week.
We'll see you next week. Thank you so much. Have a lovely evening. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you so much.